They said miracles don't happen anymore, but that day, the world witnessed one. It all began with the piercing cry of a billionaire's son echoing through a hospital room, an endless, desperate cry that no one could stop. Every doctor from the world's most prestigious institutions had flown in, one after another, each leaving with the same defeated words, "We've tried everything." The boy, only 10 years old, had fallen into a strange paralysis after a near-fatal car accident. His heart beat faintly, his eyes flickered but never truly saw. Machines kept him alive, but his spirit, it was gone. For months, the billionaire father, Richard Dalton, watched helplessly as billions of dollars couldn't buy back a smile from his only son, Michael. Then, one cold morning, fate sent someone completely unexpected to their mansion, a delivery driver named Ethan Miller, a single father struggling to raise his own daughter after losing his wife to cancer. Ethan wasn't special by society's standards. He drove long hours to deliver groceries, food, medicine, whatever people ordered, just to afford rent and his daughter's school fees. His hands were rough from work, his car old and rusted, but his heart? It was pure gold. That day, he was supposed to drop off a simple food order to the Dalton estate. But destiny had written something else. When he arrived, the security guards almost didn't let him in, thinking a delivery guy had no business stepping inside that kind of palace. But Richard's assistant, distracted and desperate, waved him through. The house was filled with silence, no laughter, no music, just the quiet hum of machines and the faint sound of Richard arguing with another doctor on the phone. Ethan placed the package on the counter and noticed a small toy car on the floor near the couch. He bent down, picked it up, and smiled softly. It reminded him of his daughter's toy when she was little. He turned and saw a young boy lying motionless in a medical bed surrounded by wires and monitors. Ethan didn't know who the child was, but something deep inside pulled him closer. Maybe it was the way the boy's fingers twitched, like he was fighting to wake up. Maybe it was because Ethan had seen the same look of pain when his wife was in the hospital, hope fading, faith breaking. Quietly, Ethan sat beside the boy and whispered, "Hey, buddy, you dropped your car." The nurse frowned. "Sir, please don't." But before she could finish, something happened. The boy's finger moved. Slightly, but unmistakably. Ethan didn't notice at first, he just smiled and continued talking, as if speaking to his own child. "You know, my little girl used to love this car too. She said when she grows up, she'll fix cars like her daddy. But now she says she'll drive one faster than I can deliver pizza." He chuckled softly. "You must have big dreams too, huh? I bet you're a racer. You look like one." The heart monitor began to pick up a stronger rhythm. The nurse's eyes widened. Ethan didn't stop. He began telling stories, about his daughter, about fixing his old car late at night, about chasing rainbows and never giving up. Every word carried warmth, sincerity, and something the doctors couldn't prescribe, hope. Within minutes, the boy's eyelids fluttered. The nurse gasped and called for Richard, who rushed in, his phone falling to the floor. "Michael," he shouted, voice trembling. The boy turned his head weakly, eyes opening for the first time in months, and whispered, "Dad." Richard fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. No machine, no doctor, no medicine, just a delivery driver who had spoken from the heart. The hospital staff ran in disbelief, checking vitals, running tests, but there was no scientific explanation. The boy's condition had reversed instantly, as if something deep inside him had found its reason to live again. Later, Richard met Ethan outside the mansion. He tried to hand him a check, enough money to change his life forever, but Ethan refused. "I didn't do it for money," he said, smiling softly. "I just talked to a kid who needed to be reminded what love sounds like." Richard was speechless. "But how did you know what to say?" Ethan looked up at the sky and replied, "When you've lost something precious, you learn how to speak to broken hearts." A few days later, news channels around the world called it, the miracle of the Dalton estate. Billionaires, scientists, and spiritual leaders debated what had happened. But Ethan went back to work like nothing had changed. Except this time, his old car had a small sticker on the dashboard, a gift from Michael, the man who healed me. Weeks passed, and one morning, a sleek black car stopped outside Ethan's modest apartment. Richard stepped out, holding Michael's hand. The boy was running, laughing, alive. Richard said, "Ethan, I want to offer you something. You gave me my son back. I can't repay that, but I can give you a chance to live without struggle. Come work for me, not as a driver, but as the head of my new foundation." Ethan frowned. "Foundation?" Richard smiled. "It's called the Hope Drive. We'll help children who've lost their will to live, through stories, love, and human connection. You'll lead it." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. For the first time since his wife's death, he felt purpose again. He accepted, not for fame or fortune, but because he understood something the world often forgets: healing doesn't always come from medicine, it comes from the heart. Months later, the foundation grew globally. Thousands of families were helped. And every time Ethan spoke at events, he'd say the same words. Don't let life make you forget kindness. Sometimes, one small act of love can do what 1,000 doctors cannot. As the video fades, Ethan and his daughter watch Michael race down a track, cheering him on. The sun sets in golden light, symbolizing new beginnings. And then Ethan's voice echoes. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Because maybe, just maybe, sharing hope is the greatest cure of all.